Are you thinking about moving to Delaware? Do you like to travel? Well, did you know that Delaware actually has its own airport? If not, well, surprise, surprise. And this is going to be the perfect video for you because in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly everything you need to know when flying out of Wilmington Airport, also known as ILG. And what I can promise you is after watching this video, you'll know exactly what to expect and you'll be ready to book your flight. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Windom and I help people buy and sell homes here in Delaware. I've lived here my entire life, and on this channel, I talk about what it's like living here in Delaware. And if you're potentially thinking about buying or selling a home in here in Delaware, I'd love to have a conversation to see if it made sense for us to work together. So I'll put my info on screen now and again in the description below. Feel free to reach out. So frequently I have clients reaching out to me, and I had one recently that reached out and we got to talking, and they told me that it was very important that they be close to an airport because they love to travel. So I asked them, I said, do you know that Delaware actually has an airport? And they said, no, we didn't know that. And it's not the first time I've heard that. So I decided to make a video on our airport here, Wilmington Airport, also known as ILG. And because people need to know about it, and secondly, I'm just coming off of vacation, so it's all fresh in my head right now, so I might as well do it before I forget some factors. And I mean, you guys can probably tell you can't get this type of tan in Delaware. So first off, you're probably wondering about the location. So I have no idea why they named it Wilmington Airport, because it's actually located in Newcastle. It's literally right off of 13, right across the street from Newcastle's farmers market. So it's called Wilmington Airport, but it's located in Newcastle. I don't know why. But it's actually pretty convenient because it's located right off of 13, and since it is in Newcastle, it's not like in the city. So it's very convenient to get there. I mean, coming off of 13, when you go in, you can either, pull around to go to get dropped off, or you can go right into their parking lot. And if you decide to, park your car there, it's a first come, first serve type deal. But they have three lots, lots A and B, which is going to be closest to the actual check-in and terminal and everything. Those are $9.50 a day. And then they have lot C, that's a little bit further away from the actual airport. But I mean, it's still in walking distance, and it's $7 a day. And one thing you'll notice, whether you're parking or dropping someone off or getting dropped off, is that this airport is extremely small. I mean, it only has one terminal, which is great. I mean, because whether you're getting dropped off or if you're in the parking lot, you just get out there, get your bags, and bam, I mean, you're right there ready to check in. So you don't have to carry your bags all extra far. And even the little bag carrier things, those are free. You don't even have to pay for those. I know at some of the other airports you do. So it's really nice, very convenient. So next, let's talk about the actual flights that are out of the Wilmington Airport. So the only airline currently at Wilmington Airport is Avelo Airlines. The routes are limited. They don't fly everywhere. It's just mostly on the, the East Coast, along the coast for the most part. They do offer destinations to a lot of the bigger, more popular destinations. So they offer all the big routes into Florida. So like Miami, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers, Tampa. But they also have other places such as routes for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They go all the way to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and they're always adding new stuff. I think they just added 2 more routes to Charlotte and Atlanta, Georgia. And actually, speaking of expanding, in September, they're actually offering service through American Airlines, but it's not the typical thing that you would expect. So American Airlines is calling this service tarmac to tarmac. And basically what's happening is that you're going to be able to check in and go through TSA at ILG, but then you'll actually hop on a luxury motor coach and they'll drive you to PHL in Philly, and you'll get off at a terminal there and then just go to your gate. I say this is a game changer for 2 reasons. Is that one, that you get all the convenience of the smaller airport that we have here at ILG, because I mean, to check your bags and get through TSA, it doesn't take any time at all. It's super convenient. I mean, I swear there's times I've waited at McDonald's for fresh fries longer than it takes you to actually get through check-in and through TSA at ILG. Now, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, it is super quick. I've flown with them 2 times now, and I had to have been through, security in less than like 10 minutes. And half of that time was probably just fighting with my kids to take off their shoes and put them in the bucket so we can actually walk through the metal detector. And then the second reason is just because it's going to open up so many more routes that you can go through with American Airlines, because basically you're going to get access to all the routes that they have there at PHL in Philly, because that is an international airport. You're going to check in at ILG and then get the motor coach to Philly and then take any routes that they have out of there. So it's going to be, that's really convenient for a lot of people that are in Delaware or, in the surrounding areas. So the next thing I guess we could talk about is actually the schedule and the pricing. So just because Avelo is the only airline there, they don't have, flights departing every day. They have a bit of a, weird schedule. And it's going to depend on your location, on exactly, on your destination of where you're exactly going. So let's take Orlando, for example. They do departures on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. But for places like Puerto Rico, it's only they only leave on Wednesdays and Fridays. So because of that, since they don't have flights every single day, you're definitely going to want to keep that in mind when you're scheduling your actual, vacation or your flight, because it's not like you can just be like, oh, I'm gonna leave on a Monday or Tuesday and come back on a Wednesday. You're gonna have to follow that schedule, but I mean, it shows all that on the website. Now, price-wise, I thought it was pretty comparable to, most of the other like budget airlines or regular airlines. I didn't think it was too crazy, as long as you actually plan your trip. If you're one of those last-minute people and you try to do it, let's say like 2 weeks or a month beforehand, yeah, you're definitely going to be paying a premium. But if you schedule this 3 months out, 4 months out or something like that, I don't think it should be a big issue. It's going to be pretty comparable to the other airlines for the most part. Now, like I said, they are a smaller airline and more of, I guess a budget airline. So they do charge you for, pretty much everything. So as far as like for bags and whatnot, the first personal item is free, but then they charge you for the carry-on, and they charge you for the check bag as well. Now I'll put like the policy up on screen for their check bags and like the measurements and everything else. As far as the price for that, it's just going to depend on the location you're going to. So I mean, I went to Orlando, so I'll just use Orlando. So for the carry-on, it was $42 if you do it like when you book, but if you try to do it at the airport, they do charge you more. It was $65. And for the check bag, kind of the same deal. It was $43, but when you initially booked, but if you tried to do it at the actual airport, it was $65. But good news, if you're active duty military and you have your ID on you, they'll give you a carry-on for free, and they'll give you 2 check bags for free as well. Like I said, they charge for everything. So they charge for like the seat when you pick your seat. I think they started at like $11 or something like that. And I think the most expensive one, like at the front of the plane with more, room or whatever, was like $40. And they do the priority boarding and all that other stuff that you could pay for. It was like $15 if you wanted to do that, but in my opinion, it's kind of not worth it because it's so small. It's just one plane. Let's talk about, I guess, the actual flight and everything, and just my experience that I've had, flying with them. So for the actual flight, after you check in and get through TSA, you get to your terminal. There's only one terminal there. I would suggest that you probably want to eat something, because there is no like food court. The only thing they have there is a couple vending machines. So, I mean, you can grab a drink, to take on the plane, but as far as like food, they don't have nothing there except for some snacks. So you definitely probably want to eat before you get to the airport. And I actually forgot to get footage of this, but it's actually a funny story. This is how small Delaware is, and I guess that airport is. So I was actually coming back from Orlando, and another realtor friend of mine, his name's Corey Mayo, he's down by the beaches. He actually saw me and took a picture of me. He was like, hey man, I see you. And it's just so weird that like, because he was going to Orlando to go to Disney. And it's so funny, but he got me some shots of the vending machine, so shout out to him. But yeah, back to what I was saying. So when you're boarding, you can, you board by group, one priority. I think they said if you're a Capital One Venture member, they give you priority boarding as well for free. So that's another perk if you have, Capital One. But you go on, you have to walk out, like actually on the tarmac. They don't have like a terminal you walk, like the little thing you walk through to protect you from the weather. So you actually walk outside and up into the plane. There, you know, I rode, I think it was like a 737 or something like that. So it's a pretty, you know, decent airplane, you know, a regular old airplane. The only thing is, I mean, it was a little tight. The seats were a little tight. There isn't any Wi-Fi. They don't offer like any snacks. All they offer is water. But honestly, all that really wasn't a big deal to me because I am a member of the Big Back Society. So I usually always have snacks on me. And as far as like the Wi-Fi goes, I mean, the movies they usually offer kind of suck anyway if they do have some type of in-flight movie. So I usually download my own movies or shows or whatever and catch up on them on my phone. You know, I usually grab a drink or something. So it wasn't a huge deal for the most part. The main thing I worry about is actually landing and getting there on time. And every flight I've had with them so far, they've been able to do both. So, you know, it's a plus in my book. So, I mean, my overall thoughts is that, I mean, I really like the airport. It's very convenient for me because it's way closer than PHL in Philly. And I don't have to get somebody to drop me off. I can just drive my car, park. You know, I'm always able to find parking there. It's only, you know, $9.50. So it's relatively cheap. I can park my car there. I get all my bags out, boom, I'm there, check in, get through TSA, you know, 15-20 minutes top, so I don't have to leave my house 3 hours or 5 hours beforehand to get through check-in and TSA. So again, it's very convenient for me. I liked it. The price difference, you know, wasn't really that different. I think both times it was actually cheaper than if we were gonna fly out of PHL in Philly. So if you've flown with Avelo out of Wilmington Airport, let me know in the comments below what your experience was like. And if you're looking for another video about Delaware, I got the perfect one for you right here.